Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get your green gear 25% off. Promo code Jericho1, all caps, and the number 1. So 2 things I want to talk about real quick. One of them is the new voting law in Georgia, the SB 202. There's a lot of things that it changes. It changes a lot of things for local governments as far as their access to supplies and support, in the smaller counties, more voting machines. There's a lot in there, but a couple of the things I wanted to focus on. Number one, it changes the rules for absentee ballots. There were record numbers of people who voted via absentee ballots because of COVID or whatever. So now it's making the rules, it's making it so people can't go door to door collecting ballots and then marking them as unofficial ballots. And it just takes a lot of the chance for corruption out of it, which is good because there's people involved. So there's going to be corruption. So any way we can minimize that is great. Making people have an ID to vote is not racist. Black folks and other folks, well, any folks, because everybody's a person of color. If the shade of your skin is in a fucking Crayola crayon box, you're a person of color. We're all Crayolas. We're POC, persons of Crayola. So we're all people of color, so it goes for anybody. Anybody should need ID to vote. You need ID to do everything else in this country. In California, I don't know how it is in other places, but in California, you got to be 18 to buy spray paint. They got spray paint behind glass cabinets that they need a key to open in the hardware stores. So I got to be 18 to get that, but I can just go on in and check the box for whoever to shape the landscape of our country, of our cities, counties, whatever. That doesn't make any sense. And all you got to do, like many other things, is just look at who's against it. All the people who are against it claiming racism. You had Bidenist pervertices, old senile ass up there talking about, well, these voting laws, forget Jim Crow. This is Jim Eagle. Whatever the fuck that means. Among the other dumb incomprehensible things that he said in unintelligible nonsense. They're comparing this to Jim fucking Crow. People being lynched, railroaded in life, not being able to do certain things, go to certain places, be around certain people, go through a certain fucking entrance, and you're comparing this to that. That lets you know they're full of shit. I believe it was Gavin McInnes who said, all of their complaints are in black and white. It's all old shit. Things we've already taken care of through legislation, through their lovely government that they seem to love so much. The federal government. We've already taken care of that. This is an insult to people who lived through those times, who really went through it, who really had to go around the back, who really couldn't look white people in the eye or walk on their side of the street. All the people who did that, nothing, for nothing, and nothing's changed. We're the same place we were in 1950. Thanks for nothing. All that shit you went through was for nothing. Because in 2021, here we are again. Bunch of stupid ass shit. And another thing I wanted to focus on is there's language in there that says you can't give food or water to somebody standing in line to vote. When was the last time you needed somebody to hand you food or water while you were standing in line to vote? Here's an idea. Bring your own food and water. Plan accordingly. Eat first. Drink something before you go. When you pull up and see a long ass line of people, all right, should I get something to drink? How long am I going to be there? These are thoughts adults have. So figure it out. Take care of yourself. This isn't an Iron Man race. This isn't a marathon. I don't need you standing there with a cup of Gatorade when I come up to vote. If I think I'll be there for a while, I'll drink something, eat something, I'll piss if I need to. I got this, don't worry. But they make it sound like people are out there in the sweltering Georgia heat, dying, skin bubbling from the sun. If someone could just bring me a glass of water and a snack. That shit is stupid, but all they have is emotions. They gotta find those heartstrings and tug at them. You're not gonna let these poor people get food and water as they stand in line for 15 minutes? People are gonna die. Well, if your stupid ass is starving to death or dying of thirst and you get in line to vote instead of taking care of those first two problems, maybe you deserve to be removed from the planet. You can't give someone food and water. Who gives a shit? Who needs food and water while you're standing in line to vote? Maybe you should be thinking about who you're going to vote for and why. Get out of here with that stupid ass shit. So it's racist. So only black people are denied food and water. If you're white, you can sit there with a hoagie and a fucking big gulp. But if you're black, you better stand your hungry, thirsty ass right there and wait. Stop it. So anyway, on to more racist nonsense. So everybody's talking about the spike in Asian hate crimes. First of all, and it's even ridiculous that I need to say this shit. Obviously, no one should be picked on, harassed, hurt, discriminated against, or anything else because of the color of their skin, no matter what color it may be. But what I don't want to see is, and it's already happening, I don't want to see what's happening to black folks happen to Asians. Because right now they're pulling you into that victimhood circle. Pretty soon they're going to be patting you on your little Asian head, giving you things to keep you quiet. Here, play with that. What's an Asian issue? Whatever the fuck that means. Here, yeah, we'll do something about it until the next 4 years. Making excuses for you. Not making you face responsibility, which is power. When you face responsibility, you learn. It makes you sharper. It makes you smarter. It makes you tougher. It makes you a better person. Steel sharpens steel. But they're telling you there's this huge spike in Asian hate crimes. And what's a hate crime? Crime is crime. You shouldn't get more time because you did it to somebody in some select protected group, whether it be racial, sexual, or otherwise. That's bullshit. If you hurt somebody, you pay. Here's the price you pay, period. Oh, they had a little more color to them? Oh, they banged a certain person? Oh, they identify as this? No, that's wrong. Straight across, you hurt somebody, here's what you get. Their color or orientation does not matter. But they want it to. It does. What's a hate crime? You commit a crime against somebody, there's going to be a certain level of hate. So they're telling you about these huge spikes, and they've gone up 150%. I saw one that said it went up 833%. So you're thinking, by hearing those numbers, every time an Asian person steps outside, somebody's fucking with them. And you've seen the videos. That one old man in the Bay Area, he got pushed down and he died. And like I said in the first video when I mentioned it, the little bastard who did it should have the skin stripped from his bones. He should be waterboarded with horse piss until he dies. Anybody who does that to an elderly person, you should be skinned and boiled alive, period. Especially old people or children. The fuck is wrong with you, you monster? But they tell you all these numbers, these huge spikes, 150%, 833%. When I looked at ESPN.com, they're highlighting a fucking Asian figure skater. Who gives a shit about figure skating? If your last name isn't Harding or Yamaguchi, you don't give a shit about no figure skating. But now, that's at the top of the website. Asian gets first place in figure skating. Who gives a shit? But this is their latest fad. This is their kale of the day. So I look into the numbers, and it said in New York City, there was an 833% increase in hate crimes against Asians. Oh, shit. Let me look at these numbers. You ready? Drum roll. Hate crimes against Asians in New York City went up 833% from 2019 to 2020. The incidences rose from 3 to 28. Say that one more time. The hate crimes rose from 3 to 20 fucking 8. Stop painting these Asian people, these Americans who happen to be Asian, as these weak little victims who are scared to go outside because everybody's against them. That's what they did to us. Cops are hunting us. White people are racist. I can't walk through a department store without somebody following me. I've been to many a department store. I've been to department stores around the world and around this country. Nobody's ever followed me. I'm big. I'm black. No one's ever followed me. If they did, they were following me so damn good, I never noticed them. And if you don't notice it, who gives a shit? So the instances rose from 3 to 28. Well, let's see what's going on in LA. A lot of Asian folks out there, they must all be getting hit over the head. Those numbers rose from 7 to 15. Again, the shit shouldn't be happening to anybody because of who you are racially. It's not your fault. It's a container. Your race, your skin color is just a container. Like I've said before, if I give you $100,000 wrapped up in a homeless man's underwear, you're going to throw it in the trash because it's wrapped in a homeless man's underwear? Fuck no, you're not. You're going to glove up, get those drawers off of there, and get to that $100,000. You're going to get to what's inside. 3 to 28, 7 to 15. So the other day, this guy named Wong, he's an elected official in Ohio. He's a Republican. 20-year Army veteran, came here in 1961 from China. And they were having some kind of meeting, and he was talking about how people looked at him funny and said he wasn't American enough. He wasn't patriotic enough. So he stands up, unbuttons his shirt, and I can only imagine what the people sitting next to him were thinking when he was unbuttoning his shirt. But he takes his shirt off and he shows this massive, gross scar across his chest, right under his pecs. And he said he picked that up serving in the United States Army. So respect to him and thanks to him. But who are these people that are looking at this man funny and telling him he's not patriotic enough? Who the fuck are the people who have the nerve to talk to somebody else like that? You don't know people's story. They don't know that man got a scar from this side of his chest to the other from serving this country. Those people are the problem. You don't blanket an entire race for assholes like that. Obviously, there's some pieces of shit in the world. I wish we could round them all up and put them at the bottom of the ocean, but we can't. But because things like that happen does not mean that there's this rash of Asian hate. What does that even mean? You saw the numbers, 3 to 28, 7 to 15. These are major American cities. New York is the biggest American city. 28. And that's too many. But again, it's not the way they're making it sound. Just like black men aren't being accosted, shot, and beat up by every cop they run into. I got videos. I did one a couple weeks ago. A cop's driving down my street. I thought that was going to be it, right? LeBronica, you told me that we're terrified. Guess what happened? I'm still here. Cop rolled by and he waved. Cops wave at me. Yesterday, here's how racist America is. Yesterday, this homeless dude comes in, all drunk, but we're all just a paycheck from being homeless. They're just down on their luck. So he comes in all drunk, grabs a bottle of Jack Daniels off the shelf, flexing his white privilege, I guess, grabs a bottle of Jack Daniels, pops the top, takes a drink, puts the lid back on it, puts it back on the shelf, and walks out. I was like, wow, that white privilege is a real thing, except we called the police. 2 black guys called the police on a white guy. Police come, the officer came up to us and said, so, gentlemen, what would you like to do? Do you want him arrested for shoplifting, or do you want him to get off with a warning not to come back or be arrested for trespassing? Said, you know what? Of course, we're terrified. Cops are here. All this rage against white people of how I've been treated my whole life because black people don't have the ability to differentiate between individuals and their experiences with them. With all this rage inside me, you know what we said? That's all right, just give him one. We just don't want him to come back. That's all we want. You know what the cop said? Yes, sir. Went over there, talked to him, and he had a buddy. They're both sitting down on the ground, nice, beautiful, sunny day in front of Chipotle, drinking beer and eating lunch. That's how bad our poor have it in America. Anyway, that's another video. Go over and talk to him. The police officer came back, explained what they told him, said, thank you very much. You guys have a nice day. We said, thank you too. Be safe out there. No bullet holes. I'm good. Still breathing. That's the racist country that we live in. Shit like this. Making this shit more than what it really is. Like there's an attack on Asian people. Divide and conquer. It's us against them. They're standing there, pants around their ankles with a fistful of KY, and we're standing there like, what are they gonna do? We know what they're gonna do. Try to fuck us. But instead of going after each other, and instead of realizing we have way more in common than we do indifference toward each other, a lot of us are going for it. Hook, line, and sinker. We can't. Because the only way to destroy something as powerful as America is from the inside. Can't do it. Can't let it happen. Well, you know what's going to happen? The rest of my state-mandated meal period. The only good thing California's giving me. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone, link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.